Good afternoon / evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to. I need to change. Sounds good. Everyone, thanks for jumping on here with us here at Dbacks Dispatch. You're still going to get a duo today. Not all three of us were available because Brett is playing Magic the Gathering with some friends. So hopefully he enjoys that. But for the time being, you'll just have to deal with Brandon and Gabe. We'll see how this all goes. We had a 4-game series against the Mets. Had you asked a lot of people how they felt Friday night, they are not like they would have been extremely disappointed based on that. Luckily, the team somewhat wrote the ship the last 2 games. So we only split a doubleheader with like the worst team in all of Major League Baseball. No big deal. As Gabe put that lovely meme out after the game today. And I love how Brett's like, Gabe, I'm like, it's a meme. Who else is it going to be?
Yeah, it's all for like the Suns heads out there too, because would they beat the Portland Trailblazers who had won like 11 games all season, and they beat them by like a 1 or 2 points or whatever, and then they put like the whole winter's work thing, and yeah, that's how I felt with this team.
Yeah, if this is your first time catching us live, we appreciate you for stopping by. If you have not yet, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to hit that notification bell so that you do not miss any of our future content. We are very active on Twitter. Like, if you would ask a lot of people, like, we are the meme account, courtesy of Gabe here, of Dbacks Twitter. Like, Gabe comes up with some fantastic memes. So my tweets are very straightforward and to the point. Like, I'm not good at creating the memes. So I just usually leave those to Gabe. So I'm like, if we need a meme, it's all Gabe there. So we lost the series opener of this one. Shocker. We're now 3-16 in series openers this season. You want to know what the outside of that? We do fantastic. We're 24-16 every other game, but we keep getting behind the 8 ball with losing those series openers. Now, this one, game 1 here was tough. A lot of people were extremely scared, mainly due to this right here. Gallen, his 6th pitch of the game, has to leave the game. Looks like he does. It's the same injury that he had a couple of weeks ago at Seattle, right hamstring. It is also the same injury that he had in 2021, which caused him to miss a couple of starts. They did put him on the 15-day IL on Friday because he pitched on Thursday. So Gabe, what were your initial thoughts when that happened? Like, were you like as scared as everybody else was? Because I know I was.
Yeah, I was, because it's like this is our. I know we talked about Brandon Pop being the ace, but yeah, this is our ace. This is like the one of, if not like the most important pitcher on our staff, and if he goes down, like, what do you get about the rest? Like, he's the one who sets the tone in every series that he first starts off in. And if he's gone for any prolonged period of time, especially because we have Erod and Merrill still out, like there's no true timetable for them either. So if he's gone, then at this point, who do we have? Montgomery, who's not been too good and fought, and then Saccone, Nelson. Like, we have enough depth to get us through, but it's definitely, once we start facing teams like the Phillies or the Dodgers again, like there's certain teams that we might have to face off against soon enough where you're gonna wish you have your Gallen and your Erod and your Kelly and stuff, because as great as Coney has looked at times, or even Nelson has looked at times, we need Gallen out there to give us 7 innings and like 2 runs or whatever it is that he gives us every night. But this one felt like a slap in the face. But I mean, we talked about it before. At this point, the issue isn't the pitching. The pitching was great in this game. Like, the bullpen came in, they mopped up this game. I mean, they came in the game with 1 runner on first and no outs. They had to get the next 27 outs, and they allowed 3 runs, which is basically what you would have gotten out of Gallen anyways, and they still lost. They scored no runs or 1 run or whatever it was, and it was just we need our bats right now. And as much as
Yeah, like
yelling out,
that's the thing that is frustrating me more than anything. It's not the pitching. It's not the bullpen blowing games right now. It's offense not showing up whatsoever. And then we will get to it in on Saturday's game. They show up just big time, and it's so frustrating because you're like, on this team has the potential to be a good offense. They just, for whatever reason, it's like 7 out of the 9 guys just can't hit. There's like 2 people. It's like either Cattell or Grichuk or Cattell and Jock. Like I really feel that's what it is. So that whole DH platoon, it may not need to be a platoon anymore. Like we need both of those bats in the lineup. If it's a righty, I we need them in the lineup because they're both hitting so well right now. Now, lefties, yeah, don't even like Jock, just don't even try. Like we know he can't hit lefties. Like his entire career has been that way. So like we don't need to see, oh, maybe we should give him a shot. No, we don't need to give him a shot against lefties. So yeah. I want to give a shout out here to Justin Martinez. J Mart was phenomenal in this game. He really helped the bullpen out as he went 3 innings in this game, pitching in front of his family for the first time as a major leaguer. So that was really great for them to see. 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 Ks. His ERA after this game 0.48. That's crazy. Like that's absolutely insane. He still walks a lot, but he doesn't give up runs. So I'm like, who cares? Like your job is run prevention. And that's what he's doing. When he comes in, he's not allowing guys to score.
yeah,
So
he's incredible. It's like I wanted to talk about him too because he throws 102, 103. Like he's a flamethrower, but he's a pitcher. And what I mean by that is that in the league, there's so many guys who are just they throw hard. They're throwers. Like we saw with Frias. Frias is not a pitcher. He's a thrower. He can get up to 103, but it doesn't matter when he's sprinting it all over the zone. He can't command. Even today with Doval, I think his name is on the Giants. This dude was just not hitting his strikes, or he was hitting his zone, but it was straight down the middle, and he allowed like 4 runs or something like that off of the Yankees, and the Yankees came back and won against the Giants. So I mean, good for us, but bad for them. But yeah, so most teams they have a flamethrower. Large majority of them they have no control. When we saw it with Hunter Green for the longest time too, it didn't matter that he could throw 103 if he wasn't making any, uh, outs with it. But the way Jamar has looked, he's so automatic. He's almost like a Seawall type, or even to a certain extent Thompson up until recently. Like he comes in there, and you're like, all right, this inning is done. But you want to watch because he's going to be embarrassing guys. He's going to get the really like nasty strikeouts. But as I brought up before, he's also getting lazy little grounders, which is not what you see out of guys who are throwing 103. Usually 103, you're seeing a lot of screaming liners, to the outfield. So he's just been completely dominant, and I hope he keeps up this streak. I know at some point he's going to have a meltdown because it happens. It's baseball. It is what it is. But I love what I'm seeing out of him. Hopefully there's a few guys I think that could be potential all stars, and J Mart is one of them, at least on the pitching side.
yeah, he's been last year I was like, okay, he has the stuff to be good, but he was a lot like Frias last year, spraying all over the plate. I'm like, okay, you throw fast. That doesn't matter if they're all non-competitive pitches.
It's like
And
the Nationals would have said, like, I don't care how hard you throw ball 4 or whatever it was.
it really doesn't matter. And it's so great to hear every series we have. On the broadcast they say it once, whether it's Brenly or Gonzo, the other team speaks to him like, this guy, what is this? Like they're all amazed at what he can do. Like because it's true, he throws a fastball, sinker, and a splitter, all of them high 90s, low 100s. what are you supposed to do? That's why I will say it till I'm blue in the face. He is our future closer. I still think 2025, maybe 2026. If he
We
keeps
still have
going on the,
Seawald for next year, right? I
I
believe we still have Seawald.
I thought
So
Seawald was his last season. Um, yeah, so he signed a 1 year in 2022. Yeah, so he's a unrestricted free agent after this season.
okay. I mean,
So if
2024, J-Mar, it's your turn.
dude, if he continues doing what he's doing this year, he is our closer.
Yeah.
So, our guy Ethan here in the chat, the biggest Pavin Smith stand that I know, which I didn't realize was a thing. It is. It very much is. Ethan won't let me forget it. So yeah, game one wasn't the best. Cattell though finally broke out of his. He had another streak after his 21 game hit streak. He went 0 for 22 or 0
Yeah.
for 0 for 22 after his hit streak ends. And based on what we've seen the last 3 games, I think he might go on another tear, especially what we saw today in game 4. So Cattell here with the only run scored in the game here in the 5th inning. Cattell drives into. I still feel really good about I picked him for MVP at the start of the year. So that little hiccup he had, I was like, this isn't looking good.
Yeah,
But
his average dropped by 20 points and his OPS dropped like 50 points or something in this stretch. I mean, he came back, I mean, he brought it up again, but it's still about 15, 16 points lower than it was during the streak. But we can get into it later, but we're finally seeing the 2-3 hit games from Cattell again, which is nice to see, other than, the singles and doubles that he was hitting during the streak.
yeah, and we finally found out that Thompson is human. He does give up runs. Gives up this home run to JD Martinez in the 8th inning, which ended up being the go-ahead winning run. I think he's overworked, and I think that's what this was. Because that slider was caught a little bit too much of the plate there at the bottom of the zone, and we know JD is a fantastic hitter. So the thing is, though, he's the only one that's pitching well there in the back end, not counting Seawald. And sometimes when these pitchers don't go long, J-Mart has to be in the 6th and the 7th because you gotta get there. Ginkle hasn't been that guy so far this season, which is a big letdown for me. So
yeah, you don't want your relievers to be halfway through, because usually you want your relievers to be anywhere from 50 to 60 innings. A lot of these guys, including Thompson, are on pace to be closer to 70 almost. Like, you don't want them to be over that, but they have to overwork them to a certain extent. And it's not even like they're winning, which is the most unfortunate part, because there's a lot of times where you overwork bullpen guys, especially like the 8th and 9th inning guys, because you're winning a whole bunch of games, so you just have to use them. But in this case, it's not really that. It's just been sometimes you just have to bring them in to hold certain leads, or it's like this. In this case, it's 2-2. You need to put him out there because who else do you trust to come out and keep the game tied? In this case, he got bit, but it's been a while, so I don't expect him to keep getting hit again.
It's still like under 2.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how good he has been lately. So let's go ahead and move on to game number 2, which it looks really close because we decided, 8th and 9th inning, we're down by what? 5? Let's do all our scoring right now. Want to give a shout out to Eugenio Suarez, who did get career home run number 250 there in the 6th inning. He barely gets it, y'all. It bounces off the orange, which is a home run. So hopefully that allows him to turn it around because he's playing great defense. I will give him that. But that's about all he's doing. He couldn't hit the ocean if he fell out of a boat, y'all.
Yeah.
Like, that's how cold he's been. So I don't even know if anyone won that trade. Because didn't we give up like a backup catcher?
Yeah.
Seattle in this one? So it's
Yeah.
like we didn't give up a lot for him.
But I mean, there's still the potential, which is the unfortunate thing with Gino, is just that I still do have trust that he can turn it around. I just think at this where we are right now, at this point in the season, with the way the offense has gone, I think Torres should think about benching him a little bit more than he has been. Because even today, he put Blaze at third, and Blaze, he got a few hits and stuff. And he looked good at third. It's not like he would look as bad as he can looking at short. But then he also put him as a DH, and it's like, why put him as a DH? Just put in Jake, who has been the most consistent hitter on the team. But yeah, well, I mean, me and Brett talked about it. Maybe start looking towards some of our minor league options. See if we can bring someone up to spark this offense because these guys aren't getting it done sometimes.
You mean like De Los Santos?
Davison, I forgot his name already. The other one that we have in AAA. It's not Mena. I can't remember the guy's name. But he has a really impressive.
Andres
Chaparro. Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Yes.
We brought it up. It's not just that he's getting a whole bunch of hits because it's Reno, so there's a lot of guys whose average is going to be inflated, and even the slugging. But he's walking a lot. He has like I think 10 less walks than strikeouts. Like he has a really good walk to strikeout percentage. He's looking really good. He has good plate discipline, which is what we need right now. So I would love to see him get called up or something. Like I said, like even if you give him 2 weeks and he's hot for those 2 weeks and then goes ice cold, what we need now is just to get to 500. We need a good 2 weeks out of a guy like him.
Yeah. So his slash line 311, 389. And then his OPS is at 922. So yeah, he's doing like 66 hits, 10 homers. He's batting 311. I don't like what I just don't think that they will give up on Suarez. I don't want to see him playing as much until he starts hitting. Like for me, that's the big thing. He is not hitting with a damn right.
I mean,
that home run.
Why not just put him at the bottom of the lineup? Because they keep putting him in like a 4, 5, or 6, and I think it's just time for Loel to maybe put him as 9.
No, I think put him at 8 because I like Newman at the 9 for the same reason I like Domo at the 9. It's like having a second leadoff. So offense in this game was really weird. They scored a bunch early. We had 3 hits in the first, and then literally nothing. Then we had the Suarez homer, and then nothing again until the 9th. This is what's driving me freaking insane with this offense. Is they'll do nothing for games on end, and then they'll have this game where they score like 10 runs. I'm like, can we balance this out, please? Because I love everyone. Everyone loves to use it. Run differential. They're at 0 right now. And if you would have asked me, if a team's at 0, like you feel like they should have a better record. But like they'll have these games where they outscore their opponents, and then they have another game where they don't do anything.
Yeah, it's always the more frustrating part about this and this is what causes a lot of the run differential stuff, the average, a lot of these numbers to be inflated that people will point to and be like, oh, well, they're as a team they're batting 260 or they have a 800 OPS, and it's like because they all do it in one game. If in 3 games they can have 20 runs scored, but then you look at the box score, you're like, oh, 15 of those runs came in one game and they scored 5 in 2 games combined and they lost those 2 games. It's like it's a very, very strange situation that they've had because 9 runs, there's more than they scored or not more. It's about as much as they scored in that 6-run stretch against the Marlins. And in 6 games they scored 9 runs, which Marlins series, the Ranger series and the first game of the Mets series. In those three games, those three series, they scored 6 games. They scored 9 runs, and in this one game, they scored 9 runs. Like it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. But as we were speaking, the ninth, Jock hits this just big time 3-run homer in the ninth with 2 outs, by the way. And then next batter up is Christian Walker. And Christian goes yard as well. Jock just kills righties, dude. Like,
Yeah,
it is insane how good. Like, if you look at his numbers, like he's batting like 300. He gets on base too. Like he walks. So it's just like, why? Like, and then as we see here, Christian Walker goes yard. He's starting to barrel up the ball a lot more lately, which is he's our slugger. That's what he's there
yeah.
for. He's there to slug. Everyone else, it's their job to get on base, and it's Walker's job to get them in.
Yeah, and I want to point out that that was a fastball that was up and in, and he had been really missing those that first month of the season, and now he's starting to barrel those up, which is what you want to see out of him. You
Yeah.
can't attack him
So
there anymore.
yeah, I mean they can try, but we saw in this series what happens when he gets attacked up and in. He punishes these teams. Um, is this team's inability to be consistent on offense? Do we think this is just a little bit of a hiccup, or do you think this is something that we're going to see all season, where we're going to see these games where they score 9 in 4 games, and then the next game they score 9 total?
I think I want to see what this team is once Alec and Perdomo comes back because I'm curious about who's going to be used and who's not going to be used because Carroll's starting to turn around a little bit, but Jake is just too valuable. Like, who's getting sent down? Who's staying up? What are the matchups looking like? How much time? Because you need Alec uh, in these games. Like, there's a couple plays that I mean, as good as Carroll has been, there's a couple
Today.
times where I was like that one in towards left center or whatever it was. There's a couple times, not just in this series, but in the other ones, where as great as Carroll has been, Alec makes those plays easily in his sleep, and
Mm-hmm.
even the one to Grichuk that he dove for. I feel like
Jake
McCarthy,
make yeah, Jake makes
he
that
he
play.
catches that. I mean, credit to Grichuk, he almost got it, but I feel like obviously Jake is younger. He's a lot more athletic, faster. I think he looks like he's a little longer too. I feel like he could have caught that one, so the inning could have just ended right there. Um, but that's the main thing I want to see. I want to see who they are once they're healthy, because that's what the fans keep saying. Like, oh well, just wait till they're healthy, wait till they're healthy. And like we have a lot more holes right now. Like we have a lot of issues that we need to address. And I want to see what this team is, quote unquote, fully healthy, at least offensively, because Alec and Perdomo do lengthen the lineup a little bit, even though there are technically our worst hitters. They do take a lot more pitches. So I want to see what they do. But I actually was talking to my brother yesterday or a couple of days ago, and I kind of had a realization of something that this team, uh, and why maybe it might be on Joe Mather, that this team has turned into a 3 true outcomes team. Last year, they were hitting a lot of singles and doubles and stealing and doing everything. And now it seems this year they find it really hard to score if they're not hitting home runs, like we just saw right now with Chalk and Walker. Like everyone's either striking out, walking, or hitting a home run. Because if you look at the numbers,
We don't we don't
they're
need that
fifth or
though.
sixth. They're fifth or sixth, I think, in walks in the league, and they're right at the bottom of the league in strikeouts. Like they're 27th, I think, in strikeouts, and then they're fifth in walks, and they're in the top 10 in home runs. Like they're the 3 true outcomes teams, and this is not who that team is. This is a team with a lot of fast guys who thrive on singles and doubles. Like Corbin, he gets on first, he's on third before you know it. He doesn't need to hit home runs. Cattell, I mean, great that he's hitting home runs. He doesn't need to, but he can and he will. But guys like Moreno, guys like uh, Gurriel, we have a lot of guys who are fine just hitting singles and doubles, but it seems like they're going for the home run right now, and which is causing a lot of the more swing and miss and a lot more guessing at the times at the plate rather than them just getting whatever pitch is thrown at them, which is what they did last year, which made them successful.
Yeah. Um I'm not ready to say that this team like we've seen who this team is. I know a lot of people say by June 1st you kind of know what the team is, but I feel like you need 60 games with your core intact to see what it is. Um, Perdomo did have a rehab start here this weekend, so he's getting closer. So hopefully I hope he's back within a week. But it's going to be interesting to see what Hazen and Tori do when he is ready. Like who gets sent down? Is it going to be Blaze, or because I feel Kevin Newman has solidified that shortstop, but they have said once Dumbo's back, it's his. So I don't know. Like, do they think about trading Newman or Blaze?
I think they. What do they have to clear a roster spot? Because he's on there. Maybe they would, right?
Well, because right now the major league roster is full, and that's with Domo on IL, but they have to activate him.
Yeah.
So doing that puts them over the limit. They have to make some sort of corresponding move.
I
So is
can
it going to be
maybe
one
see
of
them.
those? Oh, Gino's hurt, and
Yeah,
they put him
I
on
think it's
IL.
gonna. I mean, Blaze has a little bit over 100 at bats in the season. Newman has a little bit more than that, but their numbers aren't too far apart. Blaze has a better OPS. Um, I think either one of them could go. I would assume they would probably want to send Blaze down because if there's maybe an odd man out, it might be him, and he can at least go to Reno and get some work. Because Newman, they're going to have to DFA him, and I don't think they're going to want to
Yeah.
DFA Newman. So Blaze obviously still has his options. He's a rookie. They can send him down, get him work in Reno, maybe adjust some of the things that he's been working on. Because as great as he's been, he has stumbled a little bit. His strikeouts are up more than they were earlier in the season. So have him work on that. Then at some point, bring him back up. If Gino just purely isn't working out, stick Alexander there or Perdomo, whoever it is, because I know that they've been giving Perdomo some reps at third recently too.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting here. So moving on to the first game of the series that we actually won. Hold up here, I gotta bring it up. Game 3, we 10-5. If you would have asked me, how is Jake against left-handers? I've been like, he's probably okay. No, he's really good. 12 for 25. He's almost hitting 500 against lefties. Tori, you need to keep him in against lefties. He's one of our most consistent hitters. Like he needs to be in the lineup. Like I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, nah, it can't be. No, I looked it up in multiple places. Yeah, it was like some I think didn't include the game from yesterday till this morning. So when I was looking yesterday, wasn't there, but 12 for 25 against left-handed pitching. We have the
Yeah,
2022 Jake back. That is without a doubt.
he's still batting 280 at this point in the season.
Yeah.
Like he's looking amazing, which was the most frustrating thing that he wasn't in the game today because Lovello just said on the radio on Friday, I believe, that he was going to start playing everybody. He said like our most consistent guys, like the guys who are on hot streaks, they're not going to have a chance to sit down. And I'm like, my ass. He sits Jake one game, doesn't another, and I'm like, they're facing a lefty today, but he hits him so well. Like if you look at his splits versus Gino's splits against lefties, it's night and day. Like Gino can't hit anybody right now. It's not like he's particularly crushing lefties where you're like, well, I get it. He needs to be in the DH spot or whatever. It's like put Grichuk in there. You could have put Grichuk in there, leave Jake in the outfield, but for some reason he didn't because Gino needs to go for 4 again today. Like I don't know, I don't get it. But Jake needs to be there, and once Alec comes back, I think it's the same discussion with Perdomo. Where like, who do we move around? Who's our fourth outfielder?
I mean, you know who I'll say? Pavin Smith all day. You send
Yeah,
Pavin back down to Reno.
but the way he's hitting, like, what do we do about Jake or even Grichuk too? Because our outfield, it almost needs to be uh, what's his face, Gurriel, Alec, and Carroll. That's the kind of main three core guys you need
I
out there.
think I the way No, wait. What game was that? I mean, it wasn't just one game. Gurriel's pitch selection lately has been absolutely awful. I'm like, what are you? And it's not just him. We got way too many first pitch swinging.
Yeah.
I believe it was Friday. We had so we were down by one. Someone earned a walk, and then I think another got on with another single. So we had first and second, first pitch swinging by Gurriel. And I'm like, can we stop? Can we stop with the first pitch swinging? Especially when the guys ahead of you did their job and got on base. I'm like, just take the first pitch at least.
Yeah, especially because some of these guys, like, they try to work quick, and then the D-backs just make it easy on them because they're swinging at the first pitch, and then suddenly it's the third inning, and the other pitcher has 20 pitches so far. And you're like, can we make him work a little bit?
Right.
Gurriel or Suarez or Carroll, like, what are we doing here? Like, there's only certain guys that I trust to ambush pitchers, and Gurriel, Carroll, and Suarez are not one of them.
Yeah, no. This is who we want to ambush pitchers, and that is Christian Walker. Hits a home run in back-to-back games, including this big, big grand slam in the third inning against Sean Manaea. We need Walker's power so bad. Like that's his job, and I will say it after every game. If he starts hitting slugging like doubles and homers, this offensive struggling, not scoring runs will not be a thing
Yeah.
because here they pitched around Grichuk to get to Walker. Like it wasn't a intentional walk, but everything was a non-hittable pitch. So Grichuk's like, okay,
Mhm.
you don't want to pitch to me? Go ahead and pitch to probably our best power bat, and Christian made them pay, and that's what he needs to
Yeah.
do. Another thing we saw here, stolen bases. We had 4 stolen bases in this game. I think that's only like the 3rd time this season we've done that. We did it 11 times last year. So we need chaos back. To be honest, if Carroll can just get on base, he can create chaos himself. That's been his struggle. I think he's been 190 right now.
Yeah. Still at about 194, I believe, right now.
And he's still too many first pitch swings for him. And it's not just him. We cannot hit these center cut fastballs. It is infuriating. It's either they miss it completely or they foul it off.
Yeah,
So
it's like, and I don't get it. I mean, I know they're, hitting a professional pitch is hard no matter what speed is coming in. It's really hard to do, but we've seen other teams just handle it like nothing. Like one of the home runs off of uh I believe the one home run hit off of Pot today was just a center cut 85 mile per hour sweeper that he just missed the zone. Like he just went straight to the middle of the zone. They were able to hit that for a home run. And it was a bomb. And you see the D-backs, like a lot of times they look at a pitch at, sometimes 90 miles per hour straight down the middle of the zone, and they either don't swing or they swing at it and foul it back, and you're like, you're supposed to be crushing this. Like they put it on a
yeah,
tee for you. Like, can you even hit it off a tee? Like, well, what are we doing here? Like, if we're able to, hit them more consistently, because it's like, what are you guys practicing on then? Like, what's BP for? Like, what are we doing here? Like, why can't you hit these from a 90 mile per hour fastball straight down the middle of the zone? And even today, there was a 97 mile per hour pitch that they threw to Gino straight down the middle. Everyone knew it was coming, that it was a straight fastball straight down the middle, and Gino just fouled it off behind the netting. And you're like, come on, man. Like you got to be able
yeah,
to hit those. Like this is, they always talk about facing good pitchers. Like if you face off against a Zach Wheeler, guess what? He's going to give you 2 mistake pitches out of the 100 that he throws. You have to take advantage of those. And so far, they're not taking advantage of them.
yeah. So we scored 6+ runs in back-to-back games for the first time since May 21st and 22nd against the Dodgers. 8 of our 10 runs came with 2 outs. So that's a good sign. Like that's what you want to see, that you're able to capitalize with runners on base there with 2 outs. So they ended up 10 runs, 11 hits. Do we need to see consecutive games of offense showing up, or is it just be on a more consistent basis throughout the game? So instead of them like 3 runs, 4 hits in the first, and then nothing again to the seventh, like what do you need to see to feel like they've gotten over the hump of the offensive struggles?
I think for me, it's more being consistent on how much you're scoring because if they score 10 runs in the first and then nothing after that, I can't honestly tell you that that was a successful like offensive game because they took their foot off the gas. They either took their foot off the gas, or that means that they figured them out and they couldn't adjust again, which is not what you want to see. So I think if they're able to put 1, 2 runs in the first, in the fifth, a couple more runs in the sixth, seventh, you want them to score on the relievers too. You want them to get to the starters and the relievers because so far this season they can't score off of relievers. It doesn't matter if the relievers are throwing hard or not; they just can't score off of them. So I don't know what it is that they're looking at. I don't know if they lack of preparation to a certain extent that you're just not seeing these relievers. By the time they finally see them, they don't know what to do with it. But I think if they're consistent, because again, come playoff time, come towards the end of the season, we talked about it, like them being the answer backs. These aren't the answer backs because they're not answering back when they get punched. So in the postseason, you're going to have a game where you score a couple runs early, and if let's say the Dodgers they score 3 on you, what then? What do you do? Are you going to score in the fourth or the fifth again, or are you just not going to score again ever until the next game?
Yeah. And we had another scare with another potential injury in this game. Ginkle gets just a 98-mile-per-hour fastball right on the knee. When I initially saw it, I thought I heard that something broke. Like I was like, that doesn't sound good. And like he was rolling on the ground. And I was like, oh no, not another one, please. Not another one. But x-rays were negative. It was just a contusion. Basically, it's a big ass bruise. He just has a big ass bruise on his knee. They said if he had to pitch on Sunday, he could have. Luckily, they didn't need to. Um,
Yeah.
but that scared. Like I know he hasn't been our best pitcher out of the pen this season, but he's still our one of our main three that I want to see in the seventh and eighth
Yeah.
before Seawald.
Also, I want to give a quick credit to I believe that's Gabby, right, who made the play because hit off
Yes.
of him, he was able to grab it, and kind of reminded me of when Descalso after Robbie Ray got hit in the head, that he just went dashing towards the third baseline and was able to get the out.
Yeah.
But I
Look
mean,
at
the
Gabby
ball is
right here.
live. You
Like
can't
I
just. That's a hard play to get. That's a really hard play. So credit to Gabby for the awareness. But man, with Ginkgo, yeah, everyone was terrified, and we're like, oh my god, not another one. Like we can't just have another guy like this. But I will say, I've gotten hit in the knees before. I've falling on my knees. I've like literally anything you can happen to your knees. I've had it happen to me, and holy crap, like that hurts so much. It's like almost getting hit in the balls. Like you lose your air. Like I've slide rock in Sedona. I don't know if you've ever been there. One time I slid and I just like barely landed in the wrong place on my knees, and I was like sitting there for a while. I'm like, I cannot breathe because the air just like left my lungs when I got hit in the knees. Like it's like the knees and like the funny bone and stuff like that. There's certain parts of your body where you get hit wrong and you can be down for a while, even if it's there's no breaks or anything. It's just certain nerve endings right there that just hurt like a mofo.
yeah. Yeah. So this game was weird. Slade started this game. Goes 4 2/3. Um, and the reason he was pulled, and I completely agree with it, it was Francisco Lindor, and he had been torching us the entire series. So I was completely fine when Torrey took him out because I believe this would have been his third time through the lineup, and we know what Slade is after that first time through. He just so I think Torrey made the right decision. Geekle came in and got him on one pitch, by the way. Got Lindor on one pitch there, and then this scare moment we had was in the sixth. And then I believe Logan Allen, or was that Friday? Logan Allen came.
I think it was Logan Allen, and I believe it was Hughes
Oh,
who gave up the. 4 or 5 runs later on.
Yeah. Brandon Hughes needs to go. Brandon Hughes needs to go.
Yeah.
I want to see Christian Mena. I really do. I would like to see Mena get a chance at a start here with Gallen out. But we end up taking this one, so we're not getting swept. So that's always good. Moving on to today's game, Sunday's game, we end up winning 5-4, courtesy of this man, Ketel Marte. He swings and he hits a woman in the head right there. Doink. Doink. You kind of feel bad for her because she's just holding it. She's just holding it. And you feel bad. I'm not saying it was cool, but today is Lou Gehrig's day. His number was number 4. What number does Ketel wear?
So he paralyzed a woman on Lou Gehrig's day? That's pretty cool.
Yes. No, I'm kidding. Right-handed hitting Ketel swings so hard. Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
And sometimes
that's definitely his power side. Yeah.
And it's frustrating because he had one strikeout on, I think it was Saturday, swung out of his shoe. It was 3-2. We needed another base runner, and he's just swinging out of his shoes. I'm like, oh, Ketel, stop. Just stop.
That's the thing. It's I know the right side, we've talked about maybe him just becoming a right-handed hitter so he can show off the power that he has, because he is better from, I believe, like every point is like 100 points higher and everything on average on base and slugging. But that's also when you get like embarrassing Ketel for the most part. That's when you get him swinging at 3 pitches in the dirt and just, getting sorted and then just falling on his knees. Like that's usually when it comes. So I'm fine with him swinging lefty still. He's still really good from the left side. But yeah, that was a bomb. It was a great way to start the game. RIP to that lady, and then we can get to it afterwards because he almost hit her again. I'm like, he saw that lady standing there.
This
and
one?
He was like, I know that lady had like
so
Vietnam
close.
flashbacks. Look at that.
Like
she was having Vietnam flashbacks.
He hit it above her, but it was close. And I love how excited J Mart is because he knows this team is in this game because of me. And Ketel, oh my God, Ketel. Right-handing hitting Ketel is truly special. Truly special. But as you were saying, so he's had 90 at-bats hitting right-handed. 311, 374, 700. Batting left-handed, 143 at-bats, 245, 302, 378. So it is such a drastic change, and we've said it so many times. Maybe he should switch completely, just being a right-handed hitter. And I think the coaches have told it he will not change. He has said it. He will be a switch hitter.
I think maybe towards the end of the contract, once he reaches his mid-30s, I feel like probably at that point he might, because he probably will end up struggling a lot more from the left-hand side and probably will reach a point where he's batting like 150 or something. So maybe towards the end he might just become a pure right-handed hitter to extend his career.
9 of his 12 home runs are hitting from the right-hand side. And we see, he has 12 home, and he's playing fantastic defense too.
Yeah,
he makes some of these plays, and I'm like,
so he needs to start the All-Star game. Like we need to vote him in as a starter. He can't come off the bench. We can't have Albies out there. We can't have Gavin Lux or whatever bullcrap they're going to try to pull out on us, because it needs to be Ketel. He is the best second baseman in baseball, behind who maybe Semien. I think him and Semien are tied, I think, in WAR overall. Like they're both the best first basemen in each league.
Ozzie Albies better not be voted in. He has 3 home runs. No. You know who probably will get voted in because he is better?
Reyes?
Luis, yes, because
he
doesn't have the power, but he has like over 80 hits so far. Like, I love Ketel, but it's Luis Arias. Like he's been.
I mean, that's just in hits though. Hits an average. Ketel walks. He gets a higher. He has a higher. I believe still has a higher OPS. He
does.
He leads
because of the power.
Second baseman. He leads the second baseman out to above average in defensive runs saved. He has the best defensive second baseman in the league right now. And Arias is kind of a either a negative or just a little bit less than a negative at second baseman. So it should be Cattell. I don't think it would be just because it's the Padres and Padres have more pull and everything, but it should be Cattell, and I hope it is because I believe he even against Arias, I believe he beats him like an entire WAR so far.
Oh
Just
yeah, WAR for
because
sure. Yeah,
Cattell is third in the league in WAR behind Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani.
yeah. Luis Arias has 20 more hits than Cattell. Cattell's OPS is 50 points higher.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think he makes the All Star. There's no way he doesn't make the All Star team. I just don't know if he'll get voted in as a starter. But I feel like he should make it. I
yeah,
think,
he should be voted in as a starter, but I know obviously it's not how it works. But
yeah, because
yeah,
it's unfortunately there's that fan vote there that gets involved. But as we said in the beginning, 3-16 in series openers, but 24-16 all other games throughout the series. Um, it's frustrating. And so their 3 series wins was the first game of the season against the Rockies, and then the other 2 against the Reds. So do we need to play the Reds again to get a series opening win?
yeah, it's one of the more frustrating stats because that's what sets the tone for the rest of the series. You can't sweep a team if you don't win the first game. If you don't win the first game, then you open up to losing the series right away
Mm-hmm.
because all you got to do is just lose the next one, and then suddenly you're lost the series. So they need to start winning these series because if they were even able to split half of these series openers, you're talking about them having about 37 wins and 23 losses or something like that, which is a totally
It's
different
crazy.
team. And but yet they're just losing. Like the series starts, and you're like, all right, they're gonna lose. Like tomorrow, starting against the Giants, probably gonna lose that series opener too. They might win the next two, but they're gonna lose the first one for sure. And it's just like clockwork. There's so many things about this team right now that are just clockwork, which is they score early and then never score again, and then they lose the series opener, which is not what you want to see.
Yeah. Brandon Fott can't, like, I swear, every outing he has one blow up inning. If he could just like
Yeah,
not do that, he had 8 strikeouts today. Like he was really good today. But if you just take you
another
like he
quality
gave up 4
start.
runs.
I believe it's eight
No, it's
quality
not a
starts now, or is
oh,
it 3 runs or
I
less?
it's 3
I
runs
believe
or
it was
less. Is
four.
a
Oh,
quality.
okay. Oh, like
Yeah.
on the verge of
But
a quality start then. But yeah, that's his eighth or ninth straight start where it's either a quality start or on the verge of a quality start. And again, 6 innings. He hasn't given you 5 innings in a long time. He's given you either 6 or 7 innings every single time. And he's 1-3. He could have been 1-4 right now in these starts because he has no run support. It's getting ridiculous. Like the
it's
offense
not fair.
hates him or something. I don't get it.
He's been our most consistent start. Like he's made every start. Everyone
Yeah.
else has probably missed a start, whether it's due to injury or because they didn't have spring training. Um, so we ended up splitting the series, which was good because Friday night I was not feeling good. I was like, this is the Mets. They're not that good, but neither are we. And we had a very heated discussion in our group chat on Friday because I'm not willing to say that we are a mediocre team. I just and I was and I kept bringing up on once healthy on paper, I feel like we will do well. And you and Brett like, well, but we're not healthy. Everyone has injuries. Yeah, as D Weezy says, the Mets are the worst team in MLB. They are without a doubt the worst team in MLB, and we just split a 4-game series with them. So it is frustrating. This team, I don't know what they are. We still have a lot of baseball left. I'm not willing to say that they aren't the team we saw last year, because I feel like they can be. Um, I don't. I'm a little worried about Montgomery. He hasn't looked that great. So
Yeah,
I'm
he's had a
hoping,
couple, like 2 or 3 starts where he has looked like what we wanted him to be, but if it's not those 3 starts, it's like he has 2 in a row where that are just clunkers, and then today, I think or the other day was, like, the worst one. I think in order for him to go, uh, for the rest of the season to have, like, a 3.5 ERA at this point, he would have to just have, like, almost like a sub 2 ERA for the rest of the
yeah,
season, like, it's I don't know, like, I don't think we missed on him. I'll say that. I don't think this is one of those like we're saying the worst contract, blah blah blah. I'm like, it's 1 year technically. It's 25 million. It's 1 year. Where we got him mostly for the playoffs, and that's what I'm sticking to. If they make the playoffs, Montgomery's gonna be Montgomery. Gallen's gonna be Gallen. So is Erod, Kelly. Like this team is mostly built for the playoffs. My own hope is that one that they reach the playoffs, and my other hope is that they avoid the two game wild card series because anything can happen in those games. I'd rather have
yeah,
the go straight to the DS like the Phillies did.
yeah. Yeah. I think they signed them so that we could have a three-headed monster for a postseason run with Gallon,
Yeah,
Kelly, and Montgomery. I really feel like that's what they did, but the way this team's playing right now, they wouldn't be even in the wild card. Um, I mean, they're 1.5 back of the final one. Um, Giants are ahead of them. And speaking of the Giants, that is who we play next. We have a 3-game series against the San Francisco Giants. So pitching. Giants have not announced a starter for tomorrow. We have Ryan Nelson. Tuesday is Kyle Harrison versus Blake Walston. So Blake gets another start. And then we got a matinee game, Jordan Hicks versus Jordan Montgomery. Jordan v. Jordan. Um, they they've had injuries bad too. Just like a lot of other teams. Um, I think I saw Blake Snell got injured today, which feeds Blake's agenda on Blake Snell. Um, let's see.
yeah.
Matt Chapman's been actually pretty good for them. Um, Chapman, actually, really not. 8 homers, but he's batting 233. But he's playing.
He's Matt Chapman. That's what
Yeah,
he always was. 230
yeah,
with like maybe 30 bombs, but elite defense.
yeah. And Jorge Soler is not doing well. 215 with only 6 homers. And it was weird because I was big on that should be our DH.
I don't think you're wrong. I think it's just the fact that he's playing in San Francisco. Nobody in San Francisco has hit over 25 home runs since Barry Bonds in what 2004, 2005. Like that place is a complete offensive killer. That's why nobody likes to go there. I think if he came here, probably would have had better luck. I mean, we've seen how this team is anyways right now, but I think he's gonna. I mean, it's cold. It's still cold in San Francisco. It's still like in the 60s, and then especially the night games when the marine layer comes in, it's really really hard to get the ball anywhere near in the air or even have it go for a home run. So I think he's going to turn it around. I mean, I hope he doesn't turn it around here. He can go hitless again here. Like
Wait
that's
till
fine.
Thursday.
I'm fine.
Well,
Yeah,
wait till Thursday when you guys are gone from the Valley, as we are
yeah,
playing them here at home. Um, I don't know what we're gonna see in this series because
me either.
until this offense is more consistent, I don't know what we're gonna get seriously. Seriously, even game to game, I don't know what we're gonna get. It's a
No,
Ryan Nelson start at home though, so I think the series opening loss thing is gonna continue. He's just not good at home. I don't know what. I don't know if it's his pitching motion with that batter's eye. Players
yeah,
just see the ball better from him, or what. But we need him to go 5 or 6. We need that so bad.
yeah. This is one of those times where even if he gives up 5 runs, he needs to go six. It doesn't matter what the score is. He needs to get. If you're giving up runs, give him up early. get to 100 pitches in 6 innings because we can't have another situation where he's out in the fourth or the fifth, and then we got to get into our bullpen because this bullpen is really, really taxed after this away series, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we can take 2 of the 3. I do. Um, I would have such a sigh of relief if we can take Monday's game. If we like,
Yeah.
for me, if they can the next couple of series take the opener, I'll feel so much better. I'm like, okay, maybe they are on their way up. And it's all on the offense, really. Like
Mhm.
this team, like pitching has been decent. It hasn't been amazing. It hasn't been awful. But we lose these games because offense gets 5 hits through 7 with like 1 or 2 runs. And like doing that forces the pitching to be perfect, which is really
Yeah.
hard to do on a consistent basis.
Yeah. And also with runners in scoring position, because even in those games, they only got 5 hits. I think there was one where they got 5 hits and 9 walks or something. So they had a whole bunch of base runners, but they just didn't do anything with them. Today, they left, I believe, Kevin Newman stranded on second base with 1 out because nobody could bring him in. Like that's kind of a consistent thing right now where they just can't bring runners home. If they do bring him home, it's like I'm going to describe a scenario for you real quick and tell me how many times you've seen this throughout the season. Let's just say Corbin Carroll is on second base. To lead off an inning, he's on second base. Cattell ground out, and suddenly Carroll's on third with 1 out. Walker fly ball, and then Carroll scores. Next guy comes up, strikes out. How many times have we seen that? Not that specific, players, but how many times have we seen that where a guy gets on second, and the only way we bring him in is just because we're making quote unquote productive outs. They're not bringing them in because of the hits. They're not, it's nothing like that. It's a lot of, yeah, there was a fly ball out and there was a ground ball out, but they scored the RBI at the same time. Like that's mostly what a lot of these runs have been this season, and we really, really got to turn that around. Like I don't care if, like I said, you don't have to hit doubles and home runs to get these runs across. Hit singles, just single them home, single teams to death. Like a lot of teams would probably tell you they'd rather have the solo home run rather than be singled to death because you get 3 guys on, or you either hit one home run in an inning and then the next 3 guys get out, or you single 3 times and then the pitcher throws 30 pitches rather than just 20 maybe. So we got to start singling and doubling teams to death like we did last year because we are not getting anywhere if we're just relying on the 1 home run or the 1 sacrifice RBI.
We need the chaos D-backs back. So
Mm.
singles with like McCarthy. Kevin Newman's done it. Jock Peterson's done it. But like, we just need to get guys on base and stolen bases, speed on the bases, and force these teams to make bad throws. And then, like you said, singled to death. We'll have 2 or 3 runs just in like the first couple of innings. So yeah, I there's still a lot of the season left where I think they can make up ground to be like right now the goal, get to 500. They're 5 games under right now. Just get to 500. Next step, get 5 games over. Once you get that, go another 5, get 10 games. Like that's what your goal needs to be, is get to 500 and then just keep climbing. And for me, if it's all on the offense. If offense can be consistent, I think they can get there. But if offense continues to do what they've been doing, where 6 runs in a 3-game series and then the next game they score 8, I just don't think they're going to be able to get out of the hole that they're in, because they're going to be this 3 to 5 games under consistently. So
Yeah. And I would think, they had this issue a little bit last year too. They were 3 games under 500 coming into like mid-August, but I just feel like they were a slightly different team last year compared to this year. They should be better this year, but I want to see the signs that they are changing. Like Corbin is back, Cattell is coming off of this slump, but our main heavy hitters have to start hitting again, because if they don't, then this team is going nowhere. We can't be like the Royals and expect them to win a lot of 2-1, 3-2 games like the Royals did in 2015 and 14.
That is not good for my health. I do
No.
not like 2-run game there in the 7th, 8th, and 9th with our bullpen. That doesn't make me feel good. Like it causes me a lot of stress and anxiety as I'm watching. But no, I think the fact that they were able to win these last 2 games was big. Hopefully we get Domo back within a week or two. Hopefully Alec is close as well. And I believe I saw that Erod is on a throwing program now, so that's progress. God, we haven't seen him pitch since like the 2nd week of March. That's crazy to me. Like they brought him in to be their number 3. So, any parting thoughts for today's pod?
Just hopefully this could be a good launching point, because we haven't really seen the answer backs, and this was the first time they have been since I believe it was Kevin Newman, whoever hit the walk-off home run here a few weeks ago. So hopefully it's a good launch pad, and we say it every series, like hopefully it's a launch pad, but I hope so. Hopefully they can go on a little bit of a run and then see where it takes us. Hopefully that's it.
All right. Well, we do appreciate everyone for jumping in here with us live. Ethan, I believe I saw Oscar in there. Martin. So everyone, John there on Facebook for All Sports, All Plays. We appreciate everyone for stopping by. We will see you on probably Wednesday.